I test hundreds of tech products a year, and in this backpack right here, I have 15 of my favorite premium back-to-school tech products that are both functional, stylish, and also just really awesome to have. So I'll talk more about this backpack in a minute. This is the Harbor London leather roll top backpack, a beautiful backpack that is both stylish but also really functional and kind of tech focused. Like I said, I'll talk about that later in the video, but let's open it up and get into our first product. Now I have some laptop recommendations, but whatever laptop you get, you should really get a laptop case to protect your laptop, but this also doubles as three different things. So laptop case, on the back side, you've got an extra pouch you could put in an iPad or maybe some documents. And when you open it up, this also doubles as a desk mat. So you can set your laptop on it, or you can set your laptop somewhere else and use it as a mouse pad. And on the left side, you have two wireless charging pads. You plug in a USB-C on the bottom, so it's kind of off to the side. One of the wireless charging pads is MagSafe, so it could be, phone and earbuds or something like that. It's incredibly compact, and I love how it's three different things in one. And it fits a lot of laptops. I have my 14-inch MacBook in there, 13-inch laptop I'll talk about later. Overall, easy to recommend. And by the way, I'll have links to all the products in the description down below. Next, something to bring your desk to life. In a dorm where you don't have a lot of room to decorate, a floating plant is pretty awesome. It spins, you just plug it into the wall, and magnets keep it levitating. And you don't have to put a plant in here. You can put anything, coins, whatever, but a plant, I think, kind of looks the coolest. Then we have the sponsor for today's video, which is JBL. If you're going back to college, you would especially need a Bluetooth speaker, but pretty much anyone else, high school, graduate school, whatever you're going back to school for, this is the JBL Charge 6. Super easy to recommend for a number of reasons. This is obviously the red version. I think it looks really cool, but they have a lot of different colors, including some customizable ones. And again, this is linked in the description below. You can learn more about this, but just a nice functional speaker that gets surprisingly loud, has really good sound quality. The battery life is astonishing considering the size of this. And you can see it has really nice rubber foot pads all the way around. So you shouldn't have to worry about this falling, but even if you took this on the water, if you had a random boat day in the summer, not so much back to school, but it floats. So if you drop it in the water, not only is it going to be safe, good to go, but it also floats, so you don't have to worry about that. But this could really make a great speaker for a desktop if you're focusing and studying, you just want some quiet background music. Maybe in your dorm, you want a little song every now and then. Maybe you're throwing a Frisbee out in some common space. Again, this is really surprisingly loud. Perfect for that. You can see across the top, we have 6 buttons that control basic functions on there: playback control, power, Bluetooth, stuff like that. We have an indicator light on the front, and we have those little passive radiators on the side. You can see they move when the music's playing, which I think looks pretty awesome. And on the top, we have this optional handle. I keep it on. I don't really think it's in the way or anything. I kind of like having it so you could hang it on a backpack, or just grab it really quickly. But you could also take that off with this little quick attach mechanism on the side, so you could just very easily take that off and just use the speaker without that if you wanted to. But this would be pretty awesome for pickup basketball. I know when I was in college, I had an older version of this one. Must have been the Charge 1 or 2 or whatever. And again, we brought it to play pickup basketball absolutely all the time, making this a perfect product. At least one of your roommates has to have it. It might as well be you. And if you order it using the link down in the description, not only can you get the customization, but you also get free 2-day shipping. So as long as you're watching this video more than 2 days before you go back to school, you have time to get this before you go back to school. So thanks to JBL for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now let's continue on with some of my other recommendations. Of course, talking about laptops, that's a huge part of back to school. And I have a number of laptops. This video is, of course, the premium video, so I'm going to make a budget one later if you want to know some budget options. But as far as premium laptops go, there really are 2 main ones I would recommend if your school is compatible with Mac. And a lot of schools might not be. You might have software that's not Mac available. That's less and less common now, but I still know some people that when they go to college, they're recommended to get a Windows laptop. So regardless, we'll talk about a Windows option. But if you are allowed to get Mac, I would really recommend getting a M4 MacBook Air. A lot of people want to go to the MacBook Pro, but I think unless you're really pushing it with some video editing or something like that, you probably don't need the MacBook Pro. I think a lot of people would get by just fine with the M4 MacBook Air. It's by no means a cheap laptop, but for what it's able to do, I'd say the MacBook Air is a very affordable way to get access to that M4 chip on there and just a really absolute workhorse while also being a slim, lightweight laptop. But if you're looking for a Windows option, there are a lot of great options out there. The one that I've really been digging lately is the Dell XPS 13. This has the Snapdragon X Elite chip in here. So this is ARM based, which means that not only are you getting this incredible lightweight and ultra quiet laptop, so you don't have any kind of fans kicking on, but you also have a really long battery life. This battery life is lasting longer than my MacBook with normal usage. And you should be able to get, double check compatibility. Pretty much all the apps that I've ever used work just fine on here. But again, double check, make sure you're able to, it's either ARM native or it's going to be compatible with the emulator. So this laptop is also super lightweight. This is a 13-inch model, so it fits in pretty much any backpack. And I know a lot of schools have those little tiny desks. If you're in a pretty much any environment, either a small classroom or like a huge auditorium. They always have those little desks for some reason. So this laptop will fit on those little desks, super compatible with that. It also has a touchscreen, unlike the MacBook. So that's kind of a positive there. My only complaint is that honestly, both of these options, Mac and Windows, you're going to be pretty limited on ports. So the next item on this list, I would really recommend getting some type of dongle so you can have an adapter just in case you ever have to plug into, I don't know, USB type A or an SD card, or I don't know, basically even just multiple items at once. If you have to plug into stuff, these laptops are going to be a little limited. So I always keep one in my backpack, just a basic dongle. There's a ton of them you can get. Oh yeah, one more thing. I don't actually know where this came from. This is called the eye roller, but I've been using this all the time for cleaning my laptop screen. So it's like this gel substance on a roller on the inside. All you do is roll it across like a tablet or laptop, and it does a surprisingly good job of not only getting the dust off, but also any like oil or fingerprints or anything. It pretty much has it good as new after just rolling it across a couple times. All right, so we're getting through this list pretty good. I'm going to talk about this backpack now. This, like I said, you have a lot of options for backpacks. This one is kind of my favorite blend of style and function. So Harbor London does a really good job of having tech-focused products. And this one you can see on the front, we have two different options when you buy it actually. So I chose the Nomad insert. When you unzip it, it opens up 180 degrees. So you're able to get like, you know, a phone, some credit cards, maybe SD cards in there, a little keychain, a nice little zipper pouch if you have, I don't know, like more SD cards, or maybe a security key, for example, could go in there. You've got a ton of spaces for pens and pencils, and like it just looks really nice. It's a good way to organize it with a really premium zipper, and it does come off. So if you ever need to take this off, so I don't know if you ever get a different backpack or you're traveling with like a bigger backpack or whatever, you can take this off and you have everything still in there. So all of your tech items, SD cards, stuff like that. We've got a nice kind of paratrooper style buckle, really beefy, solid buckle. It feels nice, and it's also adjustable. So if you fill your backpack up a lot, because it's a roll top backpack, you're able to do that. You can also tighten it down like this. And when you open it, again, another premium kind of chrome looking zipper on the top. The sides will expand, and I'll show you some B-roll of exactly what I'm talking about, but the inside is like this really nice, soft material all the way around. There's several different pouches in here, including a little zipper pouch. You can fit a ton of stuff in here. I think it's about 17 or 18 liters. We've got a water bottle pouch on the right side, as well as a laptop pouch on the inside. I know I said I recommend the laptop cover. If you get this backpack, you might not really need the laptop cover, but it's nice that it has wireless charging pads, so I think it's still worth recommending. It also has, see if I can find it in here, it has an optional chest strap. So if you want to have like the chest, like the shoulder straps pulled together with a chest strap, there is like a really surprisingly high quality black strap. I don't really feel like I need that most of the time, but hey, if you like walk a lot and you just feel like you have a lot of weight on your back, then it's worth it to get that. I mean, honestly, I think most people just use like digital books, but if you go somewhere that you still have like a lot of physical books, then you could definitely fit a good number of books in here. And it comes in 3 different colors. There's black, there's this dark brown, and there's a light brown as well. So yeah, not sponsored, but I think this is a really awesome backpack. And everyone else has like the basic, like black, simple backpacks. This one's gonna stand out. And also, like I said, it's super functional. All right, so moving on to whatever route, like number 8 or 9 on this list. For handwritten notes, of course, iPads are great. The OnePlus Pad is pretty good too, but I personally like something that feels a little bit more like paper. So my recommendation is the Kindle Scribe. Alternatively, you could get the Remarkable Paper Pro. That's probably a little bit better, but I've been using the Kindle Scribe for a while. I absolutely love it. Having that ability to just like have something handwritten, you can save it and kind of send it over to your laptop pretty easily as well. And I don't know, something about like handwriting notes, especially if it's like math or physics or something like that. I find that like working on just a laptop, especially without a touchscreen, can be very difficult. And drawing things out not only makes it easier to take notes faster, but also helps me to remember things better. So I use that a lot. I also use it as like a daily scratch pad for any ideas or like to-do lists. I just think it's such a cool way to do that. Also, because it's a Kindle Scribe, if you ever need a book or you want to just like read for fun or something, it's a Kindle. So you could totally use it like a normal Kindle as well. And this one also has a leather case on there. If you don't have the leather case on, the pen might be like separated sometimes. So I keep the case on there, but it's thinner if you don't have the case. Now, one item that I didn't have in my backpack, but I do have on my desk here is a laptop riser. So if you're working on just a laptop for a long time and you're looking down a lot, it can be bad for your neck. Even if it doesn't feel like it's bad for your neck, I find that it's a lot better to have your laptop a little bit higher up. And honestly, when I was in college, I used to like stack books to do that. But now I have this laptop riser. It's really nice because you can put your phone on the bottom. You can also adjust the height on this quite a bit. And so you can have your keyboard down here. It saves a lot of desk real estate. So on a smaller desk, huge advantage here. And it just makes it easier to work for a longer period of time using your laptop. And it feels like your laptop sort of becomes a bit of a desktop. Of course, you will need a separate keyboard unless you're kind of like reaching up a lot. So keyboard and mouse would be another recommendation if you're going to go with the laptop riser. Of course, in my backpack, I also have a GAN charger. So the ability to just have one charger that can charge up my speaker, my laptop, my phone, my earbuds, like everything with just one charger that can, have a high or low output and also charge multiple devices at the same time is just so valuable, especially that they're getting more and more compact. I've got a little one in my backpack at all times, so I could always charge up. As far as phones go, I thought about like not even including phones on this list, but if you want to get a phone, like, hey, it's back to school, you might as well get a new phone. Two options that I would recommend. One, of course, pretty much any of the new iPhones are solid. Like if you're looking at the iPhone 15 or 16, I have a video comparing all of them and I'll link that down below. But my personal go-to, like this is a premium video, if you're balling out, the iPhone 16 Pro, not the Pro Max, is my favorite. I like that it's a more compact size, still gets the job done, still has the same cameras as the Pro Max. Super easy to recommend. But if you're looking for an Android phone that is also super versatile and again takes great photos, like you're going back to school, you want to have good photos, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a pretty awesome phone that looks and feels like a normal regular flagship phone when it's closed. Like it's really thin and lightweight, but when you open it up, I mean, everyone just like is shocked by how thin it is, and you basically have a tablet from here, which again could be really useful for taking notes or kind of like working a little bit on the go, or honestly, just for like watching movies in bed or whatever. Like having a bigger screen like this is pretty awesome. So I promise I'm saving the best for last. There's some pretty great items coming up on this list, but if you are going back to, I mean, honestly, high school, but especially college, if you're moving off campus and you have to have some kind of commute, maybe you got to go to like the grocery store and you don't have a car on campus, or maybe you're just going to and from classes a lot. And campuses are pretty big. Walking is great, but that could take a lot of time. So what I would recommend is an electric scooter if your college allows it. Some campuses don't allow them right now, but my recommendation for electric scooters is the Highboy S2. This one's very lightweight. It's surprisingly affordable. I know this is like a premium video, but still, like, it's only $300-ish, and you get an electric scooter that goes up to 19 miles per hour, has about a 17-mile range, so easily good for the whole day. And yeah, it's got everything you need. It's got regen braking on one side, electric throttle on the other side, a physical brake in case you actually need that, and it's got a bell as well, so you can pass people without having to yell at them and stuff like that. So Highboy S2, awesome scooter, super easy to recommend. And like I said, it's pretty affordable as far as electric scooters go. So pretty easy to convince your parents to buy you this to get around campus, or maybe just save up your own money and buy one yourself. Now, if you're like me, you're probably going to be using headphones like pretty much all day, every day, mostly with your laptop or your phone, which is why I would recommend this pair of headphones right here. These are the JBL Tor 1 M3 Smart TX headphones. Kind of a long name, but I'll explain why I recommend these. So first of all, you are going to be able to connect to your phone and your laptop and switch very easily between them. So that's really solid. You're going to be spending probably most of your time working on your laptop, but these have a really cool trick up their sleeve. If you have to use another computer, maybe you have to go to like the library for some special software, or you're in a computer lab for like, I don't know, maybe like a research lab or something, and you don't want to always connect your headphones through a wire, and you don't want to always connect a Bluetooth to every single device, then these have a really cool thing. So these have this little smart module that you can plug into a computer, and then your headphones will connect wirelessly to that. So you're still wireless, you still have noise cancellation, and it's just like having Bluetooth, but it's manually plugged in without having a wire connected to your headphones. And this also doubles as a great thing for traveling. If you have to fly to wherever your college is, then again, huge win here. Instead of using like those crappy earbuds they give you to plug into the plane seat, and instead of wiring again, as you could picture, you plug this into the plane seat. You can watch on the little TV in the back of the seat, and again, use your headphones, sit back, you don't have that wire. It's a huge win. These also have great sound quality, great microphone, great ANC, great features that can be controlled either from this little device here or from your phone on the app. And they work really well with both Apple and Android. They also look pretty cool. There's a bunch of colors, and the case kind of matches the backpack. Now, I'm going to be making a comparison video with this and several other premium pairs of headphones. If you want to see that video, definitely get subscribed. It'll be a full analysis of sound quality, microphones, ANC, pretty much everything you'd need. But like that cool feature, that little smart module, is something that pretty much no other headphones have, which make these pretty awesome for students. All right, we've got 3 more items on this list. These are definitely more like kind of fun items to have. One of them is going to be the Ray-Ban Metas. These are great glasses to kind of listen to music around campus. You also have cameras on them, so you can capture some cool moments here and there. And they're just kind of nice sunglasses to have. If you're a tech person, you pretty much have to have the Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses, and they keep rolling out new features, some cool AI stuff on them. And they're either sunglasses or regular glasses. If you wear a prescription, you can get prescription lenses in them as well. Then we have the Theragun Mini, and this one works, again, back to high school or college, doesn't matter. If you're playing a lot of sports, working out a lot, sleeping on like a different mattress that's not comfortable, or sitting in chairs all day, like a Theragun is so awesome to have just to kind of like massage your muscles, get some blood flow, and help you recover, especially like I said, if you're doing any kind of sports, either like intramural sports or just for fun, pick up basketball or whatever. This is an awesome thing to have. And this one does pair with your phone. So there are some different programs you can have set up. So you could say like, hey, I just ran a 5K. It'll give you a little program for like, all right, use your right quad. It'll have the right pressure, the right speed, and it's really designed for specific types of recoveries. So it's a pretty awesome device. The Theragun, I think this is the 4th generation Theragun Mini. And the best thing is it's really small, fits in a backpack, and it has a travel lock. This is really important. It has a travel lock so that if it's in your backpack, you don't accidentally hit this and have something vibrating in your backpack in an elevator really embarrassingly. So this will not do that. It's totally locked, which is pretty awesome. Also great for travel. And then last but not least, this one mostly for college students. If you're going back to school and you have an apartment with some friends, like this is the coolest thing you could have in my opinion. This is the Innoviva slushie maker, and this can make slushies of all types. You can put in like juices, or like I made pina coladas in there the other day, and it's absolutely awesome. This thing can make about 64 ounces of any frozen beverage in like, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes, which again, if you have roommates, like everyone I guarantee is going to love it. It's a pretty awesome device to have. And if you have to contribute to something in the kitchen, rather than bringing your microwave, I think they're going to like you a little more if you bring this. So those are my picks for the best back to school tech. This is the premium edition. I'll have a budget version as well. So get subscribed if you want to see that one, and leave a comment with any back to school tech that you like that I didn't mention in this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.